You're listening to Tripod, the Tricycle Creative podcast, created to help entrepreneurs be better marketers. Each episode features news, tips, interviews, and commentary from the worlds of marketing, media, and, well, miscellaneous. Now, here are your co-hosts, Ross Erosion and Chris Slezak.
That's our cue. This is the first time that we are doing it live. Can you believe it? Yes,
Me?
you. Of course
Can
you.
I believe it?
My co-host.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
it. I didn't know if you were
The
asking
rhetorical audience.
viewing. Yeah, the viewing
No,
audience.
I don't ask them anything. Just kidding. Just kidding. So this is our very first time ever live streaming. So we'll just work through any potential technical difficulties that we inevitably will have. If you've never listened to our show or tuned in, which you have never tuned in because this is our first time, I am Ross Erosion. I am the founder and CEO of Tricycle Creative. We are a content and digital marketing agency based in Austin, Texas. We help businesses, well, essentially be smarter, better marketers. And I am joined on this podcast, the Louis Tully to my Peter Venkman, Christopher Slezak.
Thank you.
You're the keymaster.
I did.
What's the problem with that?
I mean, Tully did at the end of Ghostbusters 2 at least give the appearance of saving
I know.
the day.
So you
And if that doesn't speak volumes about me, I don't know what does.
You saved the day, and that's a good thing.
According to all of New York, I
did it. You did it. So that's pretty great. I will say, speaking to technical difficulties, it looks like you're frozen again.
Oh,
yeah, it
is
looks
that
like
right?
you're frozen. Hold on. Let's see here. Do you want to... Let's see here. Do you want to just...
Nah, I got it.
He's resetting. Oh, he's alive. So if you are joining us for the first time, just listening ever to the Tripod, the Tricycle Creative marketing podcast, this is a show that I created earlier this year to help entrepreneurs, small businesses, business owners be more informed, smarter, better marketers. I wanted to talk, as if I don't do enough talking about marketing in my day-to-day, I, for whatever reason, wanted to also do a podcast. And the person who raised their hand like a real fool to be my co-host was this guy, was Chris. Now, Chris, if you could share with the audience your level of marketing expertise.
I want to say little to none.
I think you don't give yourself enough credit there.
No, I do some, I do some copywriting. I do video work. I do audio work for whoever will have me.
Chris really is my creative muse. I've said it a lot of times on this show, and I will say it till the day I die. This guy is full of just creative ideas. If I need an idea, Chris is my go-to guy. And I couldn't have asked for a better co-host on this. Even with his limited marketing knowledge, that actually makes for a really great show. So we're excited. This is actually episode number 13. We've done really technically 14 of these because we had a pilot show too and a couple of Keep Peddling interviews. So if you have not already, I definitely would recommend that you subscribe to our podcast. It's available everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. It is everywhere you listen to podcasts. That's right. That was your idea. We haven't done that yet, but I feel like that's the next live stream experience that we're going to do, is that we drive around, windows down, and blast the show. Really take it to the streets, as they say. Wow. That's impressive
Shoutcast.
stuff. Shoutcast. Hashtag Shoutcast. Okay, so on this episode, very excited. We have, and just like on every episode, we cover 3 topics every show. One from the world of marketing, one from the world of media, and one from the world of miscellaneous, and that's usually Chris's topic, right? You're usually the miscellaneous guy.
Yeah. That means I can't follow the rules or color within the lines.
That's exactly right. And you do a brilliant job at doing neither of those things. So, so today we are going to talk about, on the marketing front, we're going to talk about a recent report that came out that really talked a ton about reviews, customer reviews, and why they matter, why they move the needle when it comes to revenue. It's such a great article. We're going to hit on a lot of the high level things, and then also what you can do or what you should be doing if you are a business owner or entrepreneur to help move the needle when it comes to reviews. We are also going to talk about a very interesting acquisition by toy company Hasbro. Really looking forward to that in the media section. You know what? There's nothing I can say to really give it enough credit to what we're going to talk about there. So really interesting there. And then lastly, we're going to, on the miscellaneous front, we are going to talk about September. What about September? Well, September is self-improvement month. And so we're actually going to talk about ways that you can improve your productivity. Productivity seems to be a constant theme on our show, but I'm okay with that because I love it. Right? I love it. I just like attempting to always be better at it. That's the thing, you know? So Chris, before we get rolling, is there anything on a personal front that you would like to share with the audience before we jump right into the reviews?
That feels real loaded.
Yeah, you're right. That was more loaded than I needed it to be. Is this... How many days to live do you have?
Yeah, some important news to share.
That's right.
No, nothing of consequence.
Nothing of consequence, he says. Okay.
No, let's get into the content.
The content, eh? Well, give me 1 second here. Speaking on the technical front, I just got to get our next slide actually ready. So hold on, just bear with me here. My
main issue, I'm trying to figure out whether I should look you in the eyes when you're not looking at me.
I don't have answers to this. I don't have answers to that. I don't know where I'm looking, but oh geez. But we're going to get into our first topic. Hold on a second here. We wanted to talk about let's turn that off here. Sorry. This is the little behind the scenes. First time you do a live stream, there's a lot of moving parts. We are going to talk about reviews, why they matter, how they move the needle, and how they can actually impact your revenue. So with that, here we go. For those of you who are loyal listeners, this is the bell right here, the topic bell. We're gonna ring that right in your ear holes. So Chris, there is a company. They're called Womply. Truth be told, too long did not read. I don't actually know what they do, but they did a fantastic report on reviews and testimonials and how it impacts businesses. And so they did, I'm going to read here while we do this. Let's see, looked at reviews and transaction data for more than 200,000 U.S. small businesses in every state, across dozens of industries, including restaurants, salons, auto shops, medical, dental, retailers, and more. And more. And from that, they put together this, they kind of shared all their findings. And their findings are super cool. So the first thing is, and sorry, again, behind the scenes here, we're going to do a little... Okay. So the first thing is they found businesses claiming their listings on multiple review sites earn 58% more revenue. So what does that mean? If you have reviews on multiple different sites, better revenue. I have to believe that's probably tied to local SEO. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole right now, but there you go. They found that businesses that respond to reviews average 35% more revenue. So, Chris, you famously don't, I don't know why I say famously, you don't run a business, but you are in a band. And to to me,
correct.
that feels very much like a business, right?
Certainly will.
So I don't know how many opportunities that you really have when it comes to people leaving. Like, I don't think people leave Google reviews for bands.
I don't know, but now that you say it, I'm like, man, if our band had a Yelp review, and if the report says that we get more revenue from better reviews, or from more reviews, or from having it on more review sites.
On more review sites. Yeah. Yeah.
Can we have...
I know.
I'm going to try.
So
I'll try it. That'd be a fun experiment.
I feel like this applies, right? Now, the thing is, you want to be careful, right? Because I would recommend you kind of like, you set down, I guess maybe like in Monopoly, I don't know, you set down a house and you kind of like build it up, and then you move. Like, I would say start with 1, build it up to, let's say, 5 reviews, right? 5 to 10, and ask everyone just to review on that site. And then move to another one, ask a new group of people to review on that site. That's what I would recommend. You kind of like build little footholds and go versus sending someone an email. Go ahead.
You want to get one pristine before you move on to the next one, is what you're saying.
I just think it's about when you send that email to people to leave reviews. First off, you're already asking them to do something for you. Like another thing.
Right, which they got to really like it or really not like it.
Yeah, right? You're already asking them to do something. Second is, as with most email marketing or request kind of marketing, you need to very specifically point them to one thing to do. And I feel like if you send an email and be like, leave it on Google, leave it on Yelp, leave it on this, leave it on this, it can be very overwhelming. Like, whoa, just put the blinders on, send them to one place, build that up, and then move on to the next platform. Tied to that, they said that businesses that didn't claim their listings averaged $72,000 less in annual revenue. I mean, that's bananas. Those are people who just aren't doing anything with the reviews. And the dangerous thing about that is people are probably still reviewing them. This business just isn't claiming it. Like claiming that business. I mean, that's like craziness.
Yeah. Which, well, I don't know. I do feel like with the bad reviews, especially, you might have to take them with a grain of salt.
Okay, now
as far as reading the reviews actually goes, right?
So
that's a different story.
It's interesting you say that because that ties in actually to one of these other findings. So I'm glad you brought that up. The bad reviews stuff. It's interesting. Stay tuned. Radio tease. Now a message from our sponsor. No, just kidding. They had indicated, this is another no surprise finding, that consumers appear more inclined to buy from businesses that respond to their online reviews. So this is about someone leaves a review, you respond. Good, bad. I feel like those are the only 2 options.
Mediocre.
I mean, mediocre. I suppose the mediocre. Yeah, of course. That makes sense. Yeah, the mediocre.
This place was A-okay.
I was so motivated to leave that this was an okay place.
This was fine.
Fine. I love that it was okay. So now you had mentioned just a second ago about the bad reviews. So this was really interesting. They found that businesses in the 3.5 to 4.5 star range had more average revenue than those below or above. And that includes businesses with a straight up 5-star. So
interesting.
I thought about this, and I think it holds a lot of water, because when you, on Amazon, even on Google, when you look at reviews, are you at all suspect when it's straight up 5s?
Yeah.
Like, do you search out? Like, or let's even say if it's a 4.5. I would assume you then search out.
I would at least look at how many reviews there were.
That's an important factor. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because if it's 5 stars and only 2 people have reviewed it.
Exactly. Now,
what does that mean?
This is the actual number more strongly correlated It's like you actually read this, but I know I mean I know you looked at it, but like it's everything you
think
say
I
is
didn't.
leading right in. I know you didn't. But
I glanced.
the counts, the number itself, were actually more strongly correlated than the average ratings. So to your point, the people who have 500 reviews and are at a 3.5 are probably more likely to get business than the people who have 10 reviews and are straight up 5-star.
More people are going.
More people are going.
And more people care enough to leave a review.
It's more what they call social. In the biz, I don't know. We call it social proof, right? It's more people who are talking about the business, right?
I mean, it's the reason why if you see a business with a line in front of it, you'd be more inclined to be like, what's up with that place? You know?
Yeah.
It must be good. There's a line in front of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that correlates to the online piece. And the thing that the takeaway here for small businesses is really the one thing that if you are not doing it as a small business, as a freelancer, as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur, you need to get on it, and that is Google My Business. If you are not doing Google My Business, open up a tab, go to google.com/business, and claim your business or start your business. Because the Google My Business is a product by Google. And much like most of these companies we talk about, they weigh and put a lot more weight into the products that they produce. And Google My Business is the single product when it comes to Google search. It is generating the most content inside of local Google searches. So it's seeing a dramatic increase of Google My Business content in local Google searches. So if you're not doing it, you are missing out on a ton of visibility and traffic from search on Google itself, but also Google Maps and any related, Google search kind of plugin or platform. So reviews matter. And this is something that actually we do with a lot of our clients. We help them set up their Google My Business. I also have template testimonial emails that I work with our clients to send. And I'm really excited. Chris, you don't even know about this. This is a sneak attack. Whoa! Sneak attack right to your face. I've been working with a platform developer for the last couple months. And Tricycle Creative is going to be launching in the next probably month and a half. We're going to be beta testing some a self-serve video platform. But the self-serve video platform is actually going to allow you to get video testimonials from your clients and from your customers. I'm so stoked about it. It's going to be called Show and Tell Video. More on that as it develops, but it can really propel your review stuff into video, and you can put that on your Google My Business page. You can put that on your website. You can put that wherever, and you can send it to your customers. They click a button, they can record it right there on their phone. So super stoked. Been working a lot of hours with that and on that. So you don't know anything about it, so I don't. But go ahead.
No,
this is why I want your feedback.
Do you have control over those videos?
Yes.
As far as okay.
So the way it works.
So if somebody leaves a video and
this
it's like,
place sucks.
I hate this
straight
place.
to Facebook.
Yeah.
No, what it's gonna have.
Okay.
People who work with me, my current clients are going to get access to the beta. There's actually a dashboard. So someone records a video, you get to watch it. You can then actually package it. So you can put it together with some little elements, and then you can share it. You can also request that they re-record it. So great content, but about your face. No.
You have like a hot wife or daughter that can record this.
Could you outsource this review to someone else? But the nice thing about this platform too is you'll be able to push it to YouTube. And for those of you that don't know, YouTube second largest search engine. So now you're going to get your testimonials, your reviews. They're going to be pushed to YouTube also. So really excited about this. More to come as we develop it. Like I said, we're kind of launching into beta in the next couple of weeks. So pretty excited about that. But reviews, you need to get them and you need to ask for them. The hardest thing is asking for them. I think the more you can lead your customers to water and say, hey, could you leave me a review? Here are some things to maybe think about in a review. You know, why did you choose me? What were some things you liked about our service? What were some things you liked about our product? What were something, give them some starter questions, because people don't know what to write in a testimonial, right?
Food was good.
Maybe like the food was hot. It's like, oh, God. Thanks, Greg.
I like this place. They have hot food.
Ooh, I'm in the market for hot food.
It's a high bar.
That's I want to start a restaurant. We can start that restaurant. Hot food. And speaking of reviews, you can leave us a glowing review on any of the podcast services that you listen to us on. Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Play. We're on Spotify. We are also, I submitted us to Pandora this past week. We're in Stitcher. We're all over. So wherever you listen to us, feel free to leave us a great review. You can leave us a review and you can say, they're hot.
Or apparently 500 bad ones is better than one good one.
Leave us a couple bad ones too.
Yeah, leave us a bad review.
Yeah.
Tell them we got hot food. Golden.
Let's move on. Second segment. I cannot wait for this one, because this was really where you shined. You shined bright like a diamond on this one.
Yeah.
We are going to talk now in our media section, Hasbro and their interesting acquisition. So, this was incredibly intriguing when I found this one.
Confusing, really.
I mean, confusing. I remember when I shared this with you, I didn't see your response, but I felt like I did, because it's how I responded. It was like this. Huh? What? Hasbro, as reported by Rolling Stone, the toy company, in some sort of conglomeration, they now own Death Row Records.
Meaning Disney and Death Row playing on the same team.
I mean, well, Hasbro has a lot of Disney properties, right?
Right.
I mean, obviously we know Disney ain't no stranger to making toys, but Hasbro definitely has some of the Disney properties. And now they have the Death Row properties. So that's a whole different kingdom in itself. That's going to be an interesting land build out if they do kind of give a little to Disney to build out West Coast and East Coast, really keep them separated. I think would be a great plan for the kids.
Right.
But when I shared this with you, you then went on a tear of possible toy options. And when you did, I made note of them and I put together some great product launch stuff.
Okay.
So I thought maybe I could share those and you could talk a little bit about each one. How about that?
Sure. I feel like there won't be much to say, but let's go for it.
First one, right out of the gate. Snoop and the Snoop Dogg's Easy Bake Oven. Got it. Yes. Yeah. So you already did, so yep. Thanks. That makes it better. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. I do think you're missing an obvious here.
Oh, please.
Snoop and Martha Stewart.
Of course.
are like tight.
Yeah.
So I really don't think this is a crazy idea. I'm not gonna lie. I could see.
You think they do a collab?
Yes.
With Hasbro?
Yes.
You're right.
I could
Wheat brownies.
see this happening. Like, because I'm sure if I looked it up that Snoop has some other stuff, silly stuff. Because you know what? Snoop just embraces it.
Yeah.
Like, he embraces it. So I think this one could work. Okay? All right. So, the next one, give me 1 second here while I get you situated here on our next one.
Fat Joe wasn't on Def Jam, was he? I mean,
Death
on
Row?
Death Row. I don't
You
think
know,
there's no fat. There's no fat GI Joe.
I'm probably the wrong guy to ask. I'm not. I'm absolutely 100%.
You would know.
The
As
wrong
an avid
No.
Death Row record
No.
follower.
So next, I thought, how about a collab with the game Operation, Dr. Dre's Operation. How about that one?
Perfect.
That could be good. Maybe on the table is Eminem, you know? Because they like buds. They're like best buds.
You know what? Yeah, on his chest, Mom Spaghetti, you know?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. That is
What I'm not looking forward to is a bunch of future pop songs that just have sampled in it.
Yeah, that's not going to be great. Not going to lie. I think you're right on that one. So, I think that one's not going to be so hot. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so the last one we had here was what was this? This was Nerf Dog.
Nerf Dog instead of Nate Dogg.
Nerf Dog instead of Nate Dogg. And sometimes Nate, or not sometimes, I'm the wrong source to ask, but in this particular instance, he's wearing a nice soft hat. So his head could be at the end of the dart, and you could shoot it, and people would be fine. So
Right, and of course, instead of the dog pound, he's part of the pound puppies, right?
That
the dog
could
pound
be
puppies.
good too. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity around all of these collabs, and this gets me back to something we've talked about actually a good deal, and that is brand collabs, right? Like
Right, it's you famously had the KFC Cheetos brand collab.
I forgot. How
Be sure to check out that video.
That's true. That is on our
eating a disgusting looking sandwich.
You know what? Hold on a second here. I can probably find that great video and share it in the comments here. Yeah, that was something. I'm not gonna lie. That was
You ate a chicken sandwich dusted in Cheetos.
It wasn't. It's not even so much dusted. It was.
That's right.
Sauce,
It was just a Cheeto cheese sauce.
Which again, I feel like they could. Speaking of collabs,
That's
they could market
ambiguous at best.
Yeah. The cheese sauce was some of the best stuff, actually.
I mean, is Cheetos cheese proprietary? Is really the question.
It has to be. The Cheetos cheese formula has probably got to be guarded like the Doritos cheese formula.
I need to know if this is proprietary cheese.
I have to think it is. But this is where, wrapping this up, and why we wanted to bring it to you, just because it's a banana story.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. But also...
what is the method to their madness for buying?
You wonder if they knew. Because this is one of those, like, levels on levels on levels, conglomeration things, you know?
Right.
And I just wonder if they knew. Like, that was what they were also getting, you know? Like, their mergers and acquisition person doing the due diligence. You know?
Right, you're like, but we bought a couple of other entities, but also with that comes Death Row Records.
Like, you think they
they
don't look that up, and then someone's got to trudge into like the CEO's office and be like,
good boy.
God. So about that acquisition that we made. Ooh, may have stepped in it a little. But this gets into, I think there are always fun and interesting collaborations that when you're a small, you don't have to be a small business, entrepreneur, whatever. Star Wars is coming up. God knows we've talked about Star Wars collabs before. Like, mark your calendar for when that next Star Wars movie comes out. Oh, people eat it up.
We all,
People eat.
The Mandalorians or whatever.
Oh, yeah. That's not... You disgust me.
You're trying
to relate, and you failed. And that was... You blew it. But yeah, it's absolutely. The Mandalorian, I believe, is what you're addressing. And some other things. So if you are a business owner, make product, have a service, finding ways that even stuff that is nostalgic to you, chances are you're going to potentially find a customer segment that is also very much kind of nostalgic and into it also. So, this one was just, I don't even know when I saw this article that I had to like reread it like 3 times. I'm like, that seems off. So we now round the corner into our last topic, Chris. I hope that you are ready, because hold on one second here, because I'm not. So okay, here we go. Okay. So our last subject, we are rounding into the miscellaneous area, and we're going to talk about September, Self-Improvement Month. So with that,
also, do you remember the 21st night of September?
Right,
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So back in my previous job, I covered Earth, Wind, and Fire with video.
Oh, that's
video
right.
Team. Let me tell you, Sirius XM, we had what was lovingly called the Fishbowl. It was a cool glass studio, but it wasn't that big. Actually feels like it wasn't even that much bigger than like the office I'm in right now. And that's not a brag on my part. If anything, it's
a slam on.
It's a slam.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire has a lot of people in the band.
Did you touch Verdine White is the question.
I spent the better part of an hour with my butt pressed up against the window with the audience looking pretty much at my butt because there was no other place I could go to hold a camera. So that was a memorable experience for folks who showed up for the Earth, Wind, and Fire town hall performance.
What instrument were you closest to?
I think one of their many percussions.
Okay.
Okay. They probably had 3 tambourine people. It's like, God, you got to consolidate this tambourine action.
Yeah.
But who am I to say that?
Verdine White, the bass player, I think is possibly my wife's favorite musician in the world.
If I had known,
and I wasn't sure if you were blinded by his bright smile.
He had a beautiful smile. If I had known, I would have gotten some of his sweat bottled or something for her.
Yeah, touched his hair, something like that. Okay.
We went off topic, but that's okay. That's what happens. So September is Self-Improvement Month. I read that on the internet. And so I want to talk a little bit about how you can improve your productivity. And actually, Chris, I wanted to yield the floor to you because we had talked a couple episodes ago. You came. It was actually, I think, a therapy session, which I haven't received your copay for yet. So
right.
I'm going to need you
my insurance should be in touch with you.
Oh, God. I told you I don't accept insurance. Why are you making me do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, checks in the mail.
Okay. But I wanted to get your feedback because you had said you tried out one of the methods we had discussed before.
Yeah. So I had asked you, basically, how do I harness my tendency toward procrastination? I think is essentially what I said is I like to wait until the last minute, or rather, I perform better under pressure. Right? If I have an hour and it only takes me half an hour, I'm going to waste half an hour. You know what I mean? So I was like, how do I curtail this? How do I take advantage of this? Knowing my fault, how do I go and do better? And you had led me to the Pomodoro method, the tomato method
Sure.
of productivity, which essentially is set a 25-minute timer and do what you like, focus only on your task for 25 minutes. And that timer goes off, you're done. Take a break. And then set another one. And then keep going that way until you're done. And find out how many it takes. And then you know this task takes X amount of tomatoes. And that's how long it takes me. And it's great. It turns out I love it. Because I can just say, okay, 25 minutes, don't talk to me. If anybody is going to talk to me, I tell them, I say, don't talk to me. Talk to me in 25 minutes. I got one tomato to go.
Is that what you tell them? I got a tomato.
I say, listen, I got a tomato on the oven.
Yep.
Don't bother me for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, tell me what you got to tell me.
Sure.
It can wait 25 minutes. I guarantee it.
Most everything can.
Yeah. And it turns out it's great because in my brain, I'm like, cool. That's all you got to do is 25 minutes. It's not, you don't have to drag it out forever. Just get it done. And most of the time, it doesn't take me anywhere near 25 minutes. It takes me
it's amazing.
8, 13 minutes, not 25.
This is the crux of like why I obsess probably over productivity, is because what you just said, it's about the focus. If you take the time to prepare and you dedicate time to focus, you will get through things better, faster.
Yeah.
And it's because everyone, we're now in this world where it's like, oh, multitasking is like a strength. It's not. Multitasking is like the biggest downfall of most workplaces because you're trying to do 4 different things at once. And when you do 4 different things at once, you do 4 different things really crappy, you know?
Right.
And so I think it's about, having a plan, executing on the plan. And you would even, I think you were working through this and you tried some of the other things and they just didn't work, right?
Yeah.
And I told you, I said, that's okay. I've tried a million things that didn't work, but are there elements of it that did? Or are there elements of it that you liked? And just extract that, right? And try to make it your own. Like, that's not every system works perfectly for everyone. Everyone has different scenarios, which is, we talked about this before. I have a very different workday than you do.
Right. Totally.
And so I think it just speaks to, the trying out different things. Were there any that you tried out that didn't work?
Yeah, but I think this one drew me in first, this one, it was, it really is just as simple as saying, just shut everything off. Mm-hmm. No email, no chats. Mm-hmm. I work at a company, and I've got Gmail going, I've got Flock going, mm-hmm. I've got Slack pulled up, I've got a desk phone, I've got a cell phone, and it really is crucial to just say, shut it all off, shut it all out, set a timer. 25, not even half an hour. It's 25 minutes. It's not even half of an hour.
Yeah.
And you just say whatever you're going to do. For me, sometimes it's writing, sometimes it's editing audio, whatever it is. And as long as I do just that and nothing else, it turns out it takes no time at all to get anything done. But that being said, I've even done it for chores, for housework, for yard work, whatever. I'm like, oh, I got to do the dishes. I'm just like, just set the timer and just do the dishes. Like, don't stop and do anything else. Just put your phone down, or put on a podcast or whatever.
Yeah, well,
maybe it's tripod, maybe it's not.
I think it's also about little wins too. The other thing the Pomodoro helps you do is break down bigger tasks into smaller tasks. Yeah. That's another huge problem when it comes to getting stuff done, is that people are like, and I'm a victim of this too. I'll be like, write a blog post. For me, like, a blog post is almost like 4 parts though. It's like, I write everything first by hand, because that's just, I don't know, it's just how I am. I get too distracted typing. So I write everything out. Then I move it, type it in to WordPress. Then I design the post, because a post has to have various design elements to it, right? So that may mean sourcing some images or making some images. Then I'll go through and kind of scan it again for SEO. Then I gotta like make all the images for the post itself for SEO. Then I gotta actually publish the post. Then I have to distribute the post. It's a solid 6-part process. And if you just put write a blog post, you're not gonna be able to get it done. Like, you have to break it down.
Yeah.
And if you break it down into these smaller 25-minute tasks, you also get senses of wins. That's another important thing. It's like, you get wins. You don't just get like bombarded.
Right. And it takes one small win, right? To be like, well, if I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can finish the rest of this, right? I mean, it's 5 little things. It's not one big thing. It's 5 or 6 little.
You build up the success muscle instead of building up the failure muscle, which is pretty much the muscle that is exercised most heavily everywhere. You know? Right. It's like, oh, good, I finished this up, on to the next thing. Right? Also, Pomodoro has like the long break and the short breaks, that kind of thing.
Right. It's you do 25 minutes, then you take a 5-minute break, and then after 4 of those, you take a half an hour break, something like that.
It's a great method, and I told you, and I don't know if you need or even use it, but there's even a Pomodoro Chrome extension. You just hit it, it sets a timer, it'll pop up on your screen when you've hit your times, and you do your breaks. Yeah. I haven't been as disciplined about it as I would like to be, but
I go to a website and I leave the website with the timer full screen, so that way I'm not even tempted to look at any emails coming in, nothing like that. It's just nothing but the timer and whatever I'm doing.
That's good. And I think and here's the thing, that's going to work for you until it doesn't. You know, or until you build on it,
yeah, I mean, it may just teach me to learn to just focus on one thing until it's done, timer or no timer.
Yeah. Well, the Pomodoro was also, I would say it's a little bit smarter method of time blocking too, like, so that's another thing where it's like, also looking at your task list. We famously talked about the 5 task list, but looking at your list and putting it on, dedicating time to it on your calendar, because then it becomes real. Like, if it's just on a list, it's not real. You know? It's just like on a list. It's kind of amorphous. But once you say, I'm going to give it an hour, and then I have to give this task an hour, like, oh, well, there's my day. Like, oh, okay, well, my day's done. And that makes it more real, I
also love that it's only 25 minutes and not half an hour. It's like 99 cents versus $1.
Totally.
It makes a difference.
It's very smart in that way. It's very psychological, for sure. And,
which I guess it's based on what? That it takes 25 minutes to cook a tomato? I'm not really sure.
I think that is what it is.
That part I don't know.
It is based something... Yes, it is truly based in the tomato, or tomato, perhaps, if you like.
How long do you bake a tomato? I don't eat vegetables or fruits.
Yeah. So
I eat except cherries, like this.
Well, I have another thing I wanted to connect. We're it's September. It's almost mid-September. But I don't think it's at all too late to try out some of these things. Pomodoro, you just mentioned, time blocking. Go back and listen to some of our other episodes. We talk about the 5 task rule. There's also blog posts we have up there. Show notes from all of our past shows have a whole bunch of productivity stuff in there. It's Tricycle-Creative. I'm sorry, no, tripodpodcast.com. That's much easier.
That's right. We got the real thing.
Tripodpodcast.com. And I also, when I saw that September was this, self-improvement month, I've been working on for a while a productivity toolkit, and it's an ebook that I put together for free. It's available on our website. I'll actually drop it in the comments here. Hold on a second here on the live feed. It's a toolkit ebook that you can download, and it has 14 systems tools that I personally use and that we also kind of use at Tricycle Creative. So I tried to cover a bunch of different things that can improve your business, can improve your marketing, but also that can improve you. I'm trying to, and I will forever say this, I'm trying to be better about meditation and better about stress management. So there's tools in there that touch on that. Also some health tools that relate to your health, but also tools.
You could use some of those stress management trying to get this live stream set up.
You saw a vein. If we were only streaming somehow while we were having the issues, you would have seen the veins just, and I could see Chris, and he was just like, what do I say anything? Do I not say anything? I should probably just not do anything.
I think it was I just frozen like this?
You were. And I couldn't tell if you were actually frozen or if you were like,
or just stunned.
Like I shouldn't, if I don't move, he won't see me. He won't.
Ross is the T-Rex.
He won't attack me. He can only see movement. But I'm really excited about this productivity guide. It's absolutely free. I just dropped the link in the live stream here. But for those of you listening, it is available on our website, tricycle-creative.com/productivity toolkit. I also have some pop-ups throughout the site, so if you go to the site, you'll be able to get it. So check it out. It's a free download. I think you'll love it. The one thing that I would touch on people trying, which I love, is Asana. I live and breathe by that task management platform. It's freemium. It has premium features that I so want to pay for, but I'm just not there yet because even though we're a relatively small team, there's a lot of us. But I love what they do. So, if I had to just have one thing, it would absolutely be Asana, but Slack's a close second, I gotta say. So, yeah. But try the Pomodoro method. I encourage you to do that. It. Chris likes it, which that's a ringing endorsement.
Honestly, if you are a procrastinator like myself, if you feel like you won't get anything done until you have to, this is a great way to put that, put yourself in that box and say, like, you don't have all day. Yeah. You've got 25 minutes to at least make some progress. Yeah. It worked for me.
It worked for Chris, and it can work for you. Chris, do you have any fungal cream that you can also recommend? I didn't know if that was...
but not for any body parts that I want to
talk about. Got it. That's good. This is a relatively PG-13 show. We've gone I have gone off the rails previously, but that seems like a wise move on your behalf. So with that, we end episode number 13 of Tripod, the Tricycle Creative podcast. If you're listening, again, please subscribe, like, comment. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Stitcher.
Leave a review.
We're on
leave a review.
Remember the review. What's the review that we're going to leave?
4.5 stars, and make sure 500 of you do.
Yes, and hot food. Make sure you say we need hot food.
We need 4.5 stars and hot food.
4.5 stars. Hot food is what we're looking for.
Hashtag
hot food. So thank you for that review in advance. And please check out our website, tripodpodcast.com has show notes for all of our shows and past episodes. And we are also on all the socials at Hello Tricycle. And even though we'll hear it in our close here, Chris, do you want to throw out your social media handles?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and I guess technically on Facebook at Ruthless Chris Steakhouse.
And with that, we end the show. So I hope you enjoyed it. We'll go live again. And with that, I think we just hit the close and we say adieu and we just wave goodbye for the close.
Ta-ta.
Thanks for listening to Tripod. For show notes and bonus content, go to tricycle-creative.com/tripod. Connect with Tricycle Creative on Facebook and Instagram at Hello Tricycle. Connect with Ross at Ross Hero. Connect with Chris on Instagram at Ruthless Chris Steakhouse.